Yo, yo. Welcome to another episode of Checking In with Brando. And today I got a special guest. Got my guy, SJ. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, my man. How are you?
Bro, I'm pretty solid, man. Got me a nice, good workout in. Now I'm just recovering, man.
Attaboy. What was on the agenda today?
Bro, just did some cardio, did some heel work, did some stuff for my hips. Got some track work in, some of everything, my guy.
Out of way. I mean, that's the cool part that you're doing cardio, especially like in the post-retirement athlete phase, because a lot of people either do too much cardio or too much weights. There isn't a good balance, and it's good to see you doing that.
Yeah. It was like today was like mostly like a technique type of day, just off because of how crazy the weather was. It was very
Right.
humid, so it really
Cool.
couldn't go too crazy. So I was like, all right, let's just focus on technique today. So that's all
Yeah.
today really was. But
Good
yeah,
deal.
man,
Good deal.
what you been up to, man?
Well, since from the last time I saw each other, I would say last time I saw you was my junior year, right after winter semester, because I went back home for online because I was rehabbing from a back injury.
Mm-hmm.
Went back home, and then all this COVID stuff happened, and you graduated. I went back to UIU and played I'd say my junior season, COVID junior, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Baseball. Then I graduated, and I did an internship in Colorado for I think like 6-7 weeks, and then
Okay.
I'm actually training at the top-notch baseball facility just outside of Seattle, Washington, and preparing for my last year of college baseball.
Man, that's smooth, man. That's smooth, man, bro. How's that process of you like rehabbing from like your back surgery? Like, how is that mentally and physically for you?
Oh man, it was a long process because believe it or not, I got injured again when I got back to school,
Wow.
and from front squatting. And we actually found out during this process that I was born with an extra vertebrae in my back. So it made everything an adjustment. So like I had to watch everything very carefully moving forward, just like as little as just walking, as little as just walking to the bathroom. Like I had to like really focus on technique, make sure I have all the proper movement. So it was physically it was rough. Mentally, it was probably even way more rough because I mean, when you're in that stage, especially when I was in junior college, where a nonstop athlete, you think you're invincible, and then going from basically that to where I was, it was just mentally rough. But I'm glad I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel with that.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Like, what did you learn about yourself, like going through like that whole process of recovery?
Uh, I've learned so much, and the best part is I'm still learning. I think that's the best part about being human is that you never stop learning. And I think the thing I learned about myself is what true adversity actually is, because I thought beforehand, oh, I went through adversity. I went from being one of the worst players on my high school team to being one of the best on my junior college team. And then I had to deal with the fact that, all right, what happens when the thing you work so hard for gets taken away from you? What do? Are you just gonna quit, or keep fighting? And luckily I kept fighting, and I'm still playing. So it's a true blessing to say the least.
I feel you, man. I feel you, man. Like, how was it though? Like returning for your junior year, man.
It was it was good. I mean, I was finishing my degree, and so it was a long, hard process, and especially with the fact that we were having to deal with the COVID fall and all that, like like we had to really watch ourselves, social distance, wear masks everywhere, and that I didn't mind. The hardest part was I actually got re-injured myself in the fall doing front squats, and that was really rough. If I'm being honest, just because baseball was the escape for me during this whole COVID thing. Because like obviously being stuck at home, not having access to the gyms, well, we could still go outside and play catch. Couldn't even do that, especially in that's being in Fayette where there's not much to do anyways.
Yeah.
It was rough in the fall, and then actually it's funny you mentioned that in the fall because I went from overhand pitcher to side armor because with me getting injured again, I couldn't throw overhand
Wow.
anymore, or at least like not the way I could. So it was either drop down or call it quits, and here I am still playing. And then I had like 6 weeks to learn it with winter break and all that before we were throwing live to hitters again. And so in reality, I had like 8 weeks to really figure it out because I had to throw live to hitters in order to make the travel roster. And luckily, I just made the travel roster. And then I didn't pitch very much in the season just due to the fact that they didn't really see me in the fall, or actually, they really didn't see me at all, if I'm being honest here, because I was injured all of that junior season fall.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in the short amount of time I really had to prove myself, and luckily it paid off.
Okay, man, that's tough, bro. That's tough, bro. Like, bro, what was like the adjustment to like being on campus compared to when I was there to like when after me and Justin graduated? You know, like dealing with COVID and stuff like that.
It was a big time adjustment because the thing that really hurt the most about doing hybrid and all that is that you couldn't meet people, and it was really hard to pick up a conversation due to the fact that most people were online learning or basically taking the class from their dorm room and all that. I actually had one class where the teacher physically could not even teach us in person. It was an in-person course, but the teacher physically could not teach it just simply for the fact that he was high risk for catching COVID and all that. So we had all hybrid, and that was rough because we had multiple group projects and we couldn't even meet the person. And that was the rough part. The rough part was definitely socially, and me not being a social person, who wants to be social, that was a really rough adjustment. But at the end of the day, as long as you get the job done, that's all that matters.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Like talking about getting the job done, like how was you able to like succeed in that, man? To succeed in the classroom and succeed socially, man.
It wasn't easy. It was not easy. I will say that, but I think just making the time to do it, like if it takes doing something extra, just do the work. Like, quit making excuses. Like, everyone can say, "Oh, I'm not good with online learning." Well, you really don't know until you try. And I could make that excuse. Like when I was in junior college, I really struggled online, and I didn't really get as good grades as I did in class. And I had to make the adjustment and put the extra effort in. And thankfully, I was able to make the grade. I was able to get good grades actually, and succeed.
That's very, man. That's very. Like, how did you even get started playing baseball, man? Like, how did you even start?
That's a funny story for itself. So growing up in Boulder, Colorado, we're a very active community, but I was actually a very late bloomer when it came to sports in general. Like, I didn't start playing sports until I was, I think, 9 or 10, I like to say. And my very first sport was actually baseball. And so, I mean, my parents signed me up for like the local Little League and all that. Didn't really care much for it. And then I actually watched some baseball with my dad, and that was actually the very first thing that we kind of bonded over. So I figured originally I played just like so I could get connected with my dad, and then I ended up falling in love with it as I went on. And because I was terrible when I first played, like I was god awful, and then like me wanting to get better at it, I just figured I got to continue with this, and thankfully I got good enough where I could play college and at the Division II levels over time. And it was a rough road. It was honestly a rough road because there wasn't one year I could not prove myself. And yeah, let me rephrase that. There wasn't a year where I didn't have to prove myself, or I did have to prove myself. Like, I always had to prove myself. I always had to be the first one to field, the last one to leave. That was the best part, is that I was fighting so hard just to play the next year. And I think that's the best part about my baseball journey.
Okay. Did you ever feel like, have you even felt like this yet? Like you've proven yourself, like you've proven things to yourself, or you're still like trying to prove stuff to yourself? Like you deserve to be on this level.
That's a good question. And every day is a legit challenge. Like there's some days, that's the best part about baseball is that it's one of the most mentally challenging games in the world. Like there's some
Mm,
days I feel like the man, like I feel like, oh, I'm the greatest ball player of all time. And then there's other days where like, gosh, I don't even deserve to pick up a glove.
yeah.
But that's the best part about the game is that everyone kind of has an equal chance. Like
Hmm.
the best players in the world are the ones who fail 7 out of 10 times. And if you know basic math, 7 out of 10 times failing for anything else, it's not really that good.
Hmm. That's true.
So that's what I think of the game. Every day you got to prove to yourself that you can achieve.
Hmm. Bro, hearing you talking about the mental toughness you need to like just survive, like to want to keep on playing baseball is like it seems like baseball teaches you how like to ride the highs and lows of life, man.
Absolutely, because I mean, like you said, and you played football to yourself. Like both those games are very teaching you about life more than they make you more athletic, more than they help you become a better athlete. It's mentally challenging more than anything. Like it teaches you how to fight. It teaches you how to earn everything. And we're unfortunately living in a day and age where, people are just given everything. They're given opportunities
Yeah.
and all that. Meanwhile, both those sports teach you that, hey, you gotta earn yourself.
Mhm.
You gotta earn your right.
That's true. That's true, man. But what are some more lessons you've learned like while playing baseball, man? Like dive deep into it.
Whoa. Oh man. No one's ever really asked me that question before, so it'll probably take a little bit. But I think just picking yourself up more than anything after you fail, because it's easy to quit at when you're not good at something. It's easy to say, "Hey, I'm not good at this, so there's no point in continuing." And throughout my baseball journey, during the times I sucked, that's when I wanted to get continuously get better. It's kind of like when you're at a job or when you start something new. You're not going to be good at it. You're not going to be. It's like yeah, no, yeah, it's a good question. Baseball has taught me that nothing's ever going to be easy, especially when you're learning a new skill. And it's kind of like picking up a guitar. Like when you pick up a guitar, you're not automatically going to be the next Jimi Hendrix. Like you have to work for that. You
Mhm.
have to continuously get better. It's a process to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, man. That's true, man. Hey, talking about the guitar, I saw you on Instagram, man.
No, yeah, that's what. Speaking of guitar, I picked up a guitar. I think around a year ago. I'd like to say when I was rehabbing from one of the back injuries. I figured I listen to music all the time, so I figured I
Mhm.
might as well try to learn some of my favorite songs. And I'm still not very good at it. I'm mediocre to say the least, but it's something I do enjoy. I actually picked up the bass recently as well, and I'm
Okay.
much better at the bass personally. But I've always loved the music since I was a little kid, and
Hmm.
I did do band in middle school. I was a percussionist, which basically means I'm a musician with no skill. But it's all good. It's really just a hobby more than anything because it's one of those things that you are striving to be good at, but you're in no
Okay.
rush to be like you're not working hard for you're working hard to be as good as you can be, but you're not working so
Mhm.
hard that you need to sign a record label tomorrow. So
Okay.
that's and on top of that, it's great mentally because I mean, learning your music, learning how to play a certain song is not easy.
Hmm.
But if you really want to do it, you got to put in the work.
Okay. Okay. I feel you, man. I feel you. Like, man, like talking about you playing these different instruments and stuff. Like, what does music like mean to you?
Music is probably the number one thing in my life besides my family and and baseball, quite honestly, and my friends, of course. I got to include those. Those are the real homies.
Okay. Okay.
But music, I actually, it's funny you mention that because my freshman year of college, one of our projects for our public speaking class was to give a presentation about how much something means to you or something like that. And I actually presented on how much music means to me and
Mm.
how music affects your mood. And and my dad actually Both my parents actually played a huge role in how much I love music.
Okay.
Like my dad listened to, my dad drove me all the time, and we would listen to like Bob Marley. Actually, I'm repping Bob Marley right
Yeah,
now.
I see it. People see it.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean he's a go. But anyway, so we listened to a bunch of Bob Marley, and he actually introduced me to it as I got older, more into sports, especially like when I was playing football, when I was playing baseball. He said, listen to music before the games. It'll help with your mind. It'll help you mentally, and
Mhm.
it doesn't help me. It doesn't just help me mentally in sports. It helps me mentally in life. If I had a bad day, I'll just pump in some angry metal music or
Mhm.
some punk rock or something like that, just to let the nerves down, and it really does work.
Okay. Okay, I got you, man. I got you. Man, like hearing you like talk about your father, like what impact has he had on your life?
He had a great impact, and he unfortunately passed away when I was 16 years old due to
Yeah.
a Greek head injury.
Okay.
But he did make a big impact on me. I mean, growing up in a situation where we didn't have the most money, and him working two jobs just to make, just to get by, that was a huge inspiration for me on work ethic. And to
Mhm.
tell you the truth, he really didn't like most of his jobs because he bounced around like multiple jobs, and he really didn't like either of them. But at the end of the day, you had to provide for your family. You had to do what it took to survive. And I think that's where I get my work ethic from. It's definitely my
Okay.
father and my mother. My mom is by far the hardest working woman I've met. I mean, she works every day during the weekday. She works at preschool, and
Okay.
helping me get through college, helping me live out my dream at training this baseball facility. She is by far my hero. Both my parents are my heroes.
Okay. Man, bro, that's so amazing to hear, man, because not everybody is blessed to have parents like that, man.
Absolutely, especially even my own family. I know is that people aren't blessed to have parents that really invest in you because my dad's side of the family is Native American. Like I'm half Native American myself. I know what
Okay.
you're thinking. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it turned out like this either. Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my mom. This right here is my mom. My dad got the build is from my dad, so I got my dad's body, but I got my mom's skin.
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
but anyway, so yeah, being half Native American and all, I've been to the reservation. I've seen those kids do what they can to survive, and gosh, it's and some of them don't even have parents at all. Some of them literally live it with with like their older cousin or friend from schools, and I'm just like, geez, like
Man.
I am blessed to say the least.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
am blessed to say the least.
Hmm. Well, that's so touching, man. Oh.
I appreciate it.
Hmm. Bro, so like, what's some of the things you're looking forward to, like, with this upcoming school year, man?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm looking forward to a lot. Like I'm looking forward to starting my master's degree. I never thought I would be going for that. I mean, if
Hmm.
you ask, if the last time we saw each other was I think December 2019. If you asked me if I wanted to get a master's degree, I would have said hell no. Like I am done with school after I get my degree, and then during COVID, actually, I was thinking to myself, man, like I am so close to my degree. Do I really want to extend it longer just to play baseball, or you think I could go for a master's? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for a master's because actually, my head coach at Upper Iowa said, hey, like people who have masters tend to get paid more money. I'm like, well, I like the sound of that, so let's go for it.
Money is nice now. Money is nice.
I mean, it's not everything, but
Mhm.
I mean, when you're making six figures, you tend to be comfortable in a way or two.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
that's the goal. I'm not saying I'll make six figures, but that's the goal.
I feel you. Hey, I completely understand, my guy. Trust and believe, man.
Mhm.
Well,
Absolutely.
like looking back, like post COVID, man, like how can you say like you've really grown as a person? Like looking back, like okay, I've really grown in this area, that area.
I think I just really, it was like another step forward and not taking anything for granted. I mean, if you asked me like about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, I would have said like, oh, I take nothing for granted. But now moving forward, I appreciate it a lot more because I mean, I took something as little as like, hey, going to the weight room to let out steam to, oh, wait, I can't even go to the weight room due to the fact that, there's a virus out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I discovered more for myself. Like I discovered more music. I discovered, maybe some hidden talents I had, or maybe some desired goals were, like locked in me that I was struggling to get out. So COVID made a huge impact on my life, but believe it or not, in a positive way.
Okay.
It's a very great feeling. It's probably the best feeling I've ever had, honestly, because I mean, growing up, living with 3 learning disabilities, a lot of people told me that I couldn't even graduate high school, and here I am graduating college in 4 years, and I think I'm actually the first person in my family to graduate college in 4 years, which
Wow.
is to me insane because I'm just thinking to myself, man, this person that graduated college in 4 years is genius. But like, I think my mom took 6 years to graduate college. I think my dad took 11 or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But it is the greatest accomplishment I feel like I've had. It's funny how much a little piece of paper can make a big impact in your life.
That's very true, man. That's very true. Like, what have you learned about yourself, like, since you graduated? Since you got that bachelor's degree.
Well, I've been trying to live a little bit, so I wouldn't say I've really learned anything else. I think I was just like, okay, I'm done with school. It's time for a break. So that's when I did my little internship because I needed that internship just to officially have my degree.
Okay.
So I actually interned at this place called Dog Nation Hockey, and it's a nonprofit organization that raises money for families in need who are within the hockey community or who anyone knows and all that, but or anyone in the hockey community knows. And how I was introduced by them is actually when my dad passed away, they raised money for us.
Wow.
And yeah, so thanks to them, I actually was able to go to college. So they're a huge role in this degree, like just not even just with the internship, just with the fact that I had the opportunity to go get it.
Yeah.
So that was a true blessing in itself. No, they are. Oh man, I can't even describe it. Like I'm speechless talking right now just about them. But doing that internship, I've learned lots of life skills, such as like being trustworthy with people. Like I really didn't realize until this year how much trust really does play a huge role in your future.
Okay.
Because what if one of your teammates that you played with happens to be running a multi-million-dollar company and he wants to hire you for your skills, but he's not sure if he can trust you as a person. Well, if you're a good person to him, he'll likely more trust you.
Yeah. And
that's just the truth. I know. Sorry, turn don't be too loud.
Gotcha, man.
But yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I did for I think 6 or 7 weeks, and then I drove across the country to Seattle, or just outside Seattle, Washington, to go train at this baseball facility called Driveline Baseball. And it's been a dream of mine since I was in high school, because I mean, a lot of the best, it's considered now the best training facility in the world for baseball. I mean, I've met so many people from all over who train here. Like I met a kid the other day from Hong Kong who flew out by himself to just train. And I'm just like, wow, this is a big deal.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. Like, how's that experience been, man? Like, dive deep into that. I want to hear about
it. It's good. I mean, I really came out here to gain velocity on my fastball because I don't throw very hard. But and obviously, I want to give myself the best opportunity to to go after that professional baseball dream, whether that's, getting drafted or getting signed by a team across the country or across seas, I should say.
Yeah.
But that's the main reason why I've been out here. But I think the biggest thing I've learned, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy coming in, but I think the biggest thing I've learned is how to get a little bit extra on myself, such as one thing that I never thought I could be able to do that I've accomplished since I've been here is doing a handstand out of everything. Like I've
Wow.
never in my life have I ever thought I would ever do a handstand. And because I'm 230 pounds, I'm 6'5" and 230 pounds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, do I look like I could do a handstand? No. I mean, I had the wall for help, but I count it in my books. I still got up there on both my hands upside down when blood is going through my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the thing I'm discovering. I've only been here 3 weeks, and I'm only here 3 more weeks. But I think that that's the one thing I've discovered is that it's a process. It's day by day, and if you want something good out of you, you gotta give it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's true.
That's the biggest thing I've learned being out here.
Okay. Like, man, like, how has it been, like, interacting, like, with different athletes who are training there?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, like I said, I met a kid from Hong Kong, but like the guys I'm rooming with at this little house of ours, or little house it's owned by a woman who lives there with her 2 young sons.
Okay.
And we rent rooms in her basement, and her basement is so freaking small. Like when I walk downstairs, I have to tilt my head. I literally have to tilt my head because my head would be scratching the ceiling if I stood up straight. It's that small, but and it's sad because I'm not even the tallest person in our house right now. It's sad because I'm not even, like, we have one guy I'm living with is 6'7".
Sheesh.
Yeah, and he throws hard too. He's only he has 4 years of eligibility, so he's gonna be a monster in like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
But that guy's from Ohio. Another guy I'm rooming with is from Florida, and another guy I'm rooming with is from Texas. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's funny how we're from all these areas in the country just going for one goal in one place, and it's amazing. It's quite amazing just seeing the atmosphere, seeing the dedication levels, being around by people who want to work hard, and it's awesome. You can't get that at most places.
Yeah. Like, how does that drive you, like, being around, like, like-minded individuals who have similar goals as you?
I think it gets the little itch out of me, like I said, because I mean, when you're in a smaller area, well, this is slightly bigger than a smaller area, but when you're in a small circle, it's kind of like that whole when you're a big fish in a small pond type of deal. Now you're a small fish in a big pond or whatever. I always forget that saying, but that itself really makes me want to work harder just so I can be as good as those guys who are potentially getting drafted, or who are at this top-notch D1, or who are looking to get signed. That makes me want to work just as hard, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have moms. We all eat to survive. We all sleep. It's like, at the end of the day, it just makes me realize that I'm not much different. I am not that much different than these guys who are so much better at baseball than I am. Like, at the end of the day, we're not that much different. At the end of the day, it's really just who works the hardest, and being surrounded by a bunch of hard workers, you definitely want to raise to their level.
Okay. I got you, man. I got you. Man, you got any questions for me, man?
Of course I do. Like, how's it feel to have your degree? The last time we really spoke in person like this, or in this type of conversation, you were still working for your degree. How does it feel to officially have your degree?
Man, like, it feels amazing, man. And it kind of like having that degree, it shows me like how hard a worker I really am, and like shit, damn near anything is possible. So like, I shouldn't put no limits on myself, you know. And like, some like my boy
Absolutely.
Chris told me, like, the sky is the floor, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And on top of that, what are you doing nowadays now that you have that degree? Because I see that, I mean, you're calling from Central Time,
Mhm.
and so you're obviously still in like that Iowa, Illinois area. So where are you at nowadays?
So right now, I'm in my mom's crib, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Hey,
I've been,
it's a process.
yeah, bro.
It's a
Like,
process.
it's not easy, you know, but hey, I'm making the best out of it, you know. Like every day,
That's good.
I'm working towards a goal, you know. And I really like just been like growing and evolving as a person, you know. So our brothers that's like me, working on this book, you know, doing stuff for the podcast, doing stuff for the
Oh,
network,
let's go.
uh, you know. So
Man, you're doing it all. You are doing it all, man. That's great to see.
yeah,
But
bro.
yeah, like, what type of work are you doing nowadays?
Yeah, bro. Like right now, I'm just in the media space right now, man.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Ah,
so
boy.
it's definitely different, you know, because like, bro, like when I first got to Upwire, like I didn't have like no degree in communications or in journalism, you know, it's just something that just happened to happen, you know, and like
Yeah,
I
that's
just
awesome.
right now I'm just enjoying it, you know, and however
Absolutely,
long it
man.
lasts, it lasts.
Absolutely. Make the most out of every day. Like, it's funny you mention that because that's what I'm doing in my baseball career. Like, I don't know if it's going to, like, 1 year from now, I could be out of the game. One
Hmm.
year from now, like, I could be done playing forever. But, that's, I mean, instead of, oh man, I forgot who has this. I believe it was Muhammad Ali who has this quote. He said, "Don't count the days, make the days count." Like something like that. And that's what you gotta do. That's honestly what you gotta do, especially when you're doing something you love.
Yeah, that's real spill. And bro, like you'll be surprised like how much time really flies when you do what you enjoy.
Oh my, oh my gosh, man! 2 years ago felt like I actually got a notification recently, and they actually said I got this tattoo 2 years ago from today, and I'm
Wow.
just like, man, it didn't even feel like 2 years ago. It felt like yesterday, quite honestly. Like
That,
that's just something. Oh my gosh, time really does fly.
yeah. Like sometimes like for me, like I don't realize how much time has really gone by until I start looking at like podcast episodes that I have, you know? And I'm like, damn, we got all these episodes. I'm like, oh shit, that's like how many weeks, you know? Like time is really flying, you know?
Dude,
Like
for real. I mean,
Like right now, bro, like we like halfway done with this year already, bro. Like we already passed like the halfway point.
good God. I mean, oh
Mhm.
yeah, you're right, because it's almost August.
Yeah.
That's when you sit there like, crap,
Hmm.
holy crap, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you, man.
I
But
appreciate
yeah,
you. Yeah.
absolutely.
You got any other questions, man?
Do I have any other questions?
Yeah, go
No,
ahead, ask away.
I think we covered it all. Oh, actually, no. You know what? I do got one question for you.
Okay.
What has been the biggest adjustment being a retired college athlete now? Like, what has been the biggest adjustment or the biggest, I'd say, struggle or biggest challenge? Because I'm starting to think about like, all right, what if my career does end within a year? Like, what am I going to do? Because that's the thing I fear the most is being lost. So,
Hmm.
like, what have you done to adjust with yourself? I know everyone's different, but like, what's the biggest piece of advice you could give for anyone in that position?
Yeah. I know like the biggest thing for me has been like finding ways to like to stay healthy, you know, whether it's just like my physical health or like my mental health. You know, it's all about like finding those ways because you know when you're in college, you have a set schedule like with lifting, practice, and meetings and
Exactly.
this and that. But it's like after college, like if you're not playing pro, you don't have that same schedule no more. You don't have nobody to tell you like, hey, we got lifting at this time, or be at meetings at this time, you know?
Yeah, you're on your own. You're on your own.
Yeah, so
That's
like that.
that is a good thing, and it's funny. It's awesome that you mentioned that because I remember this as you were saying that. I just remembered this quote by Jim Carrey. He talks
Yeah.
about mental health because Jim Carrey suffers through depression, and I mean, if you looked a little bit into his life and how he was able to become who he was,
Mhm.
you know, you understand the struggle that he went through. You understand the grind that he had to go through to be Jim Carrey. He's known as, you know, the iconic media clown or whatever,
Yeah.
one of the greatest actors of all time. He
Mhm.
says that, you know, I do believe mental health is real, but if you're not exercising, you know, eating right, you know, getting out there, getting sunlight, you're not giving yourself a fighting chance. And that's just the truth, you
Yeah.
know?
That's so real, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like that post college depression is very real. Like if you don't have anything immediately lined up, you know, and it's like if you don't have no way to make money lined up, like coming out of college, like that shit can like really like sink in on you, you know, and then that post college depression becomes real, you know, because like
I
you're
hear,
struggling
I hear you.
asking yourself like, what is next, you know?
Mhm. No, I hear you completely, especially like, oh man, I hear you completely because you just feel lost.
Yeah.
You legitimately just feel lost. You're like, what's my purpose?
Yeah, and it's kind of like what do I do now? You know, because you always had like you kind of like you was kind of like you preparing your whole life for this moment, and then a moment actually comes. You know,
Yeah.
so and it's
Yeah.
like shit, like what's next? You know, because you see
Like, what
everybody
now?
doing this and doing that. It's like, all right, when is my opportunity gonna come? And it's like, how can I make my opportunity come? Like make my opportunity appear, you know? And it's tough, you know. Like I know various people, various college graduates who have faced and gone through that post college depression, man. Like it's no joke, my guy.
100% right. I feel like completely. I'm still figuring out what to do after this last year. It's like,
Mm.
I mean, obviously, I'll still be continuing to get my master's degree and all, but gosh, like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something right after this last year of baseball, you know, because I'll be taking the rest of it online. There's no point in going back to Fayette, but
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I gotta figure some things out. Now that you mentioned that, I think now's a good time to start so I can
Yeah,
avoid that.
yeah,
Or
cause like you never want to like cause like especially like when you come from like certain environments, you just like damn, like once you go back to it, it's like damn, you know, I'm here still, and it's like did I really do anything to like really push myself forward in life, or am I really
yeah,
gonna be stuck in this same cycle as everybody else?
yeah, it's great that you mentioned that because I'm from Boulder, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where the home of the University of Colorado is. So I grew up in a college town,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of people who just went to CU after high school, so they never left home. I left home, and when I go back there, I'm just like, yeah, gosh, dang, I didn't stay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that I would have grown at all because I went to three colleges in three different states. None of them were Colorado in
Mm-hmm.
3 years, and that's where I felt like I've grown the most. Like I discovered myself, like, gosh, will I be comfortable being away from Colorado? And the answer is yes, I will be very comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And it's like
And obviously,
when you're on your own like that, like when you go to these different states and stuff, and you have to live there like by yourself, like you don't have like your mom or your dad to depend on, like that really forces you to grow, you know?
absolutely. I mean, when I, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because when I first moved to my first college, it was in Barstow, California, Barstow Community College. I went there to go play baseball. Barstow, and excuse my language, but Barstow is a shithole to say the least. Like
Uh-huh.
it's the middle of the Mojave Desert. You know, the only grass is on the baseball field, so it's just
Wow.
so yeah, it was nothing but desert. And top of that, it's not a great environment. Like they, I think the statistic was 60% of the town's population never graduated high school, so a lot of homelessness, a lot of
Wow.
poverty. On top of that, I was way out of my comfort zone because I mean, I know I'm half Native American and all, but I was like one out of like 10 white dudes in the whole town.
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally went to the grocery store and I got stares, man. Like
Yeah.
they're like, "Are you lost?" I'm just like, "Nah, I play baseball here." Like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Okay.
It was that kind of deal, and that was the biggest adjustment. And there was times I legitimately wanted to quit out there, but I'm glad I stuck through it because
Mm-hmm.
I mean I hated Barstow. There's a reason why I left the very next year to go
Mm-hmm.
transfer to a JUCO in Nebraska. But like, it's funny because people find it weird that I say I don't regret going there one bit. Like I still don't. I
Yeah.
don't regret going there one bit. Did I love it there? Hell no.
Yeah. But it's like
But
you had to stay there and be there in order for you to grow. It was part of your process, man. It was part of your journey.
absolutely, because the first week I was there, I was getting ready to pack my stuff and go home, and I was just like, I made a commitment. I made a commitment not only to myself,
Mm-hmm.
not only to my teammates, but to my family. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing this for them, and that's what I did, and I'm really glad I did that.
Okay. Man, I really feel you on that, man. You killing that bang now.
I'm sipping on it. Just we gotta rep here. We gotta rep it. I mean, I might be the only one who drinks Bane, but I gotta do my part in promoting it.
Okay, okay, I got you, man. I got you, my guy. And then, like, man, like the last question, well, one of the last questions I have for you, man, like, how do you feel like knowing like now you can use like your likeness and you could partner with brands and like make your own money on the side? Like, how does that feel as a college athlete, man?
I think it's amazing because I feel like you can really promote yourself. You can promote like this really helps you with your jobs,
Mm-hmm.
with really like a job after sports is over because I mean it really gives you the opportunity to give a good image to yourself, and I think that's that's awesome. Especially like I've been having continuous thoughts about, and I'm not sure if I'll execute it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'm thinking about starting to vlog because
Okay.
that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Yeah.
And if I start vlogging like day in the life of a college graduate student athlete, I think I could promote something, for like that college athletes can get their masters and play sports. I mean, hopefully they don't have the same bad luck I did, having
Mhm.
injuries. I
Okay.
hope not. I didn't like it for myself. I sure as hell don't wish anyone else that. But on top of that, like being the position I'm in, I'm not sure about any other athlete. I mean, everyone's story is different, but being the position I am in, where I represent the Native American community, where I represent kids with learning disabilities community, when I represent, kids from Colorado,
Mhm.
like I want to create a good image, and I think this gives us one of the best opportunities to do so.
Okay. Okay. Man, hey, do it, man. Hop on
Absolutely.
it. Hop on it, like for real, man. Go out there, go do that thing, man. Like, why
Why
not?
not?
You
Why
know,
not? I mean, you only live once. You only live once. You might as well do it.
that's literally, man, literally. And like my guy, before we dip off, man, is there anything else you'd like to tell the people?
Work hard, have fun, go for it. Uh, let doubt be your fuel. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
And God bless.
Okay, man. Hey, let everybody know where they can follow you at, man.
All right. Follow me on Twitter at SJ Musso. Follow me on Instagram at SJ Musso. And that's all I have to say. Not much.
Okay, I got you, my guy. Hey, I'd like to thank you for coming on. And I appreciate you
Thank you for having
sharing
me.
your time with me, man.
Thank you for having me. I love your guys' podcast. You and Foley are the man. I really hope this helps you guys get more viewers because you guys deserve it. You guys are great.
Man, hey, I appreciate it, man. That means a lot to me. I'm gonna tell Justin you said the same thing, my guy.
Yeah, tell him I say hi. I'll probably call that guy soon, but yeah.
Okay. I most definitely will,
All right.
man. Have a nice one, my
All
guy.
right. Take care, bro.
Yes, sir. And that's it.
Bye bye.
Man, that's it from the latest episode of Checking In with Brando. If you enjoyed this great conversation I had with my guy SJ, go check out the more relatable conversation I've had with other guests on other episodes of Checking In with Brando. Yes, sir.